Hey everybody, I'm Josie Mai, and today I talk about my whole year of travel where I left work to pursue one of my biggest dreams, which was just to travel. So I talk a lot about my just having an intention, a goal, and actually doing the thing and going out there and reaching my goal. And you're listening to Everforward Radio.
So this is a very traditional Vietnamese podcast situation.
I feel like I was like, I'm just gonna Asian squat down and then just,
I should we'll do like the yoga thing. We'll like bring the pillow up under the hips.
I actually did yoga this morning.
Oh really? I'm
I
jealous.
do it every morning, but it's nice.
We just do. This will be a 1 hour shavasana podcast of just us.
We should just do it. Just do some downward dogs, chaturangas, like 30-minute break. That'd be good.
Do you do yoga a lot?
I do yoga a lot now.
I love yoga.
Because while traveling, there's never a consistent gym or anything.
I bet, yeah.
So like in the hostels, I do like either a YouTube, like 30-minute circuit or anything, but those sometimes you don't want to do because you're just jumping around and everyone's looking at you like you're crazy. So
why are you fitnessing? What's going on?
So like just doing quiet, calm yoga in the corner. Yeah. No one looks at you.
Well, let me like fully officially introduce. This is a longtime friend, Josie Mai, and we're doing part 2 because I'm an actual idiot. It's my first time ever podcasting. I was back in DC October?
I think
September. And I saw that you were back in town, and you had just come off of this 1-year world tour, just traveling everywhere, all the places.
All things.
And we got to talking over coffee, Compass, of course.
Yeah, we met just for like coffee.
Yeah, and then I like sabotaged your day, and she began to like tell me more about this journey, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Would you like pause? Let's go over to my friend's apartment and do this on a podcast. And you've done this before, actually. So Josie was one of my very first, I think the first 6 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Way back in the day when we lived over in Noma.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is technically your 3rd time, but will be the 2nd episode.
Yes.
So Josie Mai, longtime friend, we'll get into not a whole lot of the story of like the fitness stuff, because when we met, it was kind of like you were doing that, like the fitness,
like when we met,
Instagram, YouTube
ago.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This story is going to be, I'm just going to sit back and relax and enjoy the story and just let you tell the story. She traveled the world for a year, all over the place. So let's just start from the beginning.
Yep.
Like why? Why did you decide to do this?
Well, so I was just working my job in DC, where I am now, and I realized a huge goal of mine was always to go traveling, and I was subscribed to different podcasts that talked about traveling,
Like Everforward Radio,
and different blogs.
Actually, no, we never talk about travel.
And I was just like, I want to do this one day, and the ideal goal at that time was like, I want to find a job where I can just work remote and live anywhere in the world and do that. But I was like, before that, I should just travel first to see how it is. And also because at the time, like, we're in our 20s, and the way you travel now is going to be different than the way you travel when you're 50s or 60s or 70s or when you're retired. So I was like, okay, if I want to travel and have an experience of a lifetime, I have to do it now while I'm young and able. And also while I'm not tied down with like a family.
Before you start really adulting.
I'm really adulting. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it now. And then luckily at the time, like my partner at the time was also like having these same goals. So we both decided to just like take the plunge and let our jobs know that we were leaving for a year. And then we just did all the preparation that comes in with preparing for this giant trip. So like getting the right credit cards, getting the right vaccines, preparing the visas, looking at different flight options, and just doing all the preparation steps along the way, closing out all of our so I had to like cancel my health insurance, like cancel some credit cards,
cancel my Netflix,
cancel all like the recurring bills, like the gym memberships and everything, save money, and then just took off for a year. And just, it was very backpack budget travel, so it's not like we were balling.
Sure.
Like traveling to Bali and staying in 5-star resorts and everything. We were just like hostels here and there because we wanted to mainly have the experience of traveling to a place and the culture, not to like glamour vacation.
You weren't glamping all over the world.
We weren't glamping the world. We were just like roughing it, but it was so much fun. And like with a backpack, so like 4 outfits you just rotate. And we had different climates we had to prepare for, so packing was fun. Like the whole preparation step was really fun for me because I love to plan. I'm a huge planner. I have spreadsheets. And then just like doing it was also fun. There's just so much to go through.
Yeah, let's go there. So the prep.
Yeah.
Your job was just fortunate enough that they were understanding, say, hey, like we'll kind of hold your position so you could come back, which I think is great security for somebody who wants to do this. I don't know of many jobs that would allow that kind of thing. But so the prep work, like how long did you prepare before you left? And like, just like, what was that? Like you were talking about some of the things you had to like cancel and save up for, but how really and for how long do you prepare for a year-long trip?
Yeah, so I was actually just telling my friend this because she just left for her year travel because
she's an inspiration to the world already.
Her to leave her job. No, but so I would say at least 6 months beginning before you leave out, because that gives you enough time to get all the vaccines and everything ready. But I did a lot of research online and from the podcast, just hearing from other people what they had to prepare. But give yourself 6 months.
Wow.
And just like I had a checklist of items, and I actually have a blog post about this if anyone wants to
go
through this, like the nitty gritty.
Could you share that? I'll make sure to put it like in the show notes and stuff.
I'll put it there. But I just had to pretty much 6 months out, start getting all the vaccines because sometimes they're serious vaccines.
Right, yeah.
So if you don't, you have to get one month, 1 in 3 months, 1 in 6 months. So make sure you get those.
How did your friends and family take it? Like, what did you have to prepare them?
Yeah. So my
for
friends
6 months?
were like, "Wow, you're so lucky! Like, you're so brave. You're doing this thing. Like, I wish I could do that." And my family was more like, "Oh, are you sure you want to go out there?"
They're like, "But why?"
But why? There's a lot of disease, and at the time there was no coronavirus yet. So like, if that was out, they would not let me go probably. But no, they were just more like, "Be safe." Because my parents always worry about everything, but I think they were okay with it because I had someone traveling with me.
So they were kind of like semi-supportive?
They were somewhat supportive. Cool. I think I had to explain it to my family more about the reasoning because they're like, why do you want to... So for my parents, I'm Vietnamese, and their idea about using money is like you spend your money on things for your family,
right?
Or save it for your future family.
Yeah.
So they didn't understand why I was using money, I guess, for my own.
Like, Josie, why are you using all your money in 1 year?
Yeah. And I was like, well, first of all, I'm budget traveling, so I'm not spending it all. And second of all, like, it's different times now where I'm going to have a family one day, and I know that I will make money, and I have money saved for that life. But I don't want to go through life and not spend on myself, too. Like, it's a time to be a little selfish now while I can and have this experience. And not just a fun year, but also I'm going to learn things. I'm going to have new eye-opening experiences, and it's going to help me grow, and it's not just a waste of a year. Like, this money is not only to enjoy life, but also grow and learn and experience things that I'll never experience from my couch in D.C.
Yeah, or the floor in
or
D.C.
the floor.
That's a great point right there. So preparing, there are a lot of things, vaccines, money, just, life, people.
Your job.
How did you kind of like mentally prepare? Like, what were your expectations going into the trip versus, actually, let's not go to the end of it. Let's like do a true story here. Okay. What were your expectations going into, hey, I'm going to be living out of a backpack, traveling the world for a year? Mm-hmm. Like, how did you kind of wrap your head around that?
Man. Yeah, because my closet was pretty stacked in D.C. I mean, I was ready to be minimalist, I guess, with like this whole life change. I was like, I can do anything. Like, when you make this decision, you think that it's all going to come easy.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't so worried about that. I was like, I'm just going to have 5 t-shirts, 2 tank tops, 2 pants, and
it'd be perfect for me. I literally wear the same like 3 things all the time now anyway.
White tee,
so
pants.
It's the same Lulu pants, just in like 2 different colors, and like a t-shirt and a hoodie. That's like,
and you'd be set. You'd be so easy. But no, my expectations, I guess, I actually had to learn not to set expectations.
Interesting.
On a trip like this.
Yeah.
Because if you plan too much and expect too many things, it always changes.
Because literally everywhere you're going is the unknown.
Exactly. Like, we booked a one-way. Like, there was no...
Damn.
We didn't plan too much because just knowing if you're going on a trip like this, you just in your head already know nothing is set in stone.
Yeah.
Everything is subject to change. Everything will change.
Did anything go according to plan? Did you have any plan?
The first country. The first 2 countries did, because I had a set timeline to be back in the States for a little bit.
Okay, cool.
For family reasons. But that's it. Like, everything else changed drastically. Like, in my first blog post, I was like, yeah, we're going to go to Guatemala and this and this and this and do like South America and Southeast Asia. But then in reality, it was like, we went to South America and then also Burning Man and then Europe.
That's
and
right.
Then, Turkey and then Asia. And then it was just all different.
Wow.
But so in preparation, like, all I knew was that what I needed to do and leave with.
Right.
And then what date I had to come back to start my job again.
Wow.
That was really it.
Like, I want to do this. This is so amazing.
I mean, just go for like 2 months. Even 2 months is a great.
I've talked to May a lot about, you know, because we're in this kind of like transition series, and not to like derail your story too much, but you know, definitely want to settle down a little bit, you know, in the next like 1 to 2 years, you know, kids and stuff like that. And she's going through grad school, and I'm doing my own thing. And I was like, actually, the last time we moved, I was like, what if we don't move? It's like, what if we just like put all of our stuff in storage? When we left DC, we did a big cleanse. You know, we sold a bunch of stuff, got rid of a bunch of stuff. Minimalist. Everything that we had, everything that we took with us, only fit in our car. It was me, her, and Nella, our little dog, and our 4-door car, and we just drove across country, and that was it. Clean slate. I was like, what if we don't have an address? What if we just like go just like 3 months, 6 months, just like go go to like Europe. Her and I, for our honeymoon, we did like this 3-week trip all over Europe, and just fell in love with so much. And I was like, look, your program is like predominantly online. You only need to be back like once a semester, if that. Like, what if we go do that, don't have an address, and travel the world? And she was like, no. I'm hoping maybe I can breathe life back into this, like when she's done this year with school and like our lease is up again. I was like, hey, what if we don't move? What if we don't have an address, kind of thing? And
just sell it like, let's have a honeymoon number 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just be on it for 3 months.
When could we ever do this again, realistically?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Before like life gets too serious.
I got to read your blog and take very particular notes and actually give her a plan. Yeah. Maybe then she might entertain the idea.
I can send her a spreadsheet.
Maybe. Let's gang up on her.
I'm like, do it. But no.
So the first thing went according to plan, ish. So you started off, and like, so once you get like in country, once you're there, boots on ground, how did life change? Like, what was your day to day? Like, what was it just like, here I am world, let's just see what happens? Like, did you have particular things that you wanted to experience in each location, or were you just wake up and see what happens?
That's a good question. So I did do a little prep, again, because it's the planner in me, of each country and each city that we're in. Just we're not going in and like, okay, now what? And you don't want to waste the whole day looking at things to do. So like the day before, like the previous days before, I'd have a little list. And actually in my tracker, in my spreadsheet, I had like each country and like the top things that I wanted to do in each. Yeah. Not a set itinerary of like day 1, day 2, day 3, but like these are 5 awesome places that we should hit.
Okay, cool.
As like a tourist or as a non-tourist. And then we would have that and be able to just kind of plan our days around it. Also, in the hostels we stayed at, a lot of travelers, so obviously asking them for recommendations.
Right.
And so the day-to-day ended up being doing a lot of exploring, a lot of walking. I wish I had this Fitbit at the time because I would love to see how many steps I would do. Oh my gosh, the
data would have been amazing.
It would be so cool. But no, just a lot of the way I like to travel.
I double dip now, actually. I have an Apple Watch and a Whoop. Yeah.
What is a Whoop?
Whoop is it's a physical activity tracker, but it's way more in detail than like the Apple Watch. So this will actually track heart rate variability, your sleep, training, recovery.
It looks like a belt.
Yeah, it's super easy. And this is very minimalistic, but then the data you get on the app is incredible. I've been using this for about 4 or 5 months now.
Damn.
It'll like predict basically when you're sick based on your heart rate variability. I can't ever say that word. And then you can like track your sleep, and you can like, okay, based upon my recovery, I should not really do a workout. Oh, actually they are. Yeah, they're a full-blown partner of 2020. But it just came up organically, right? I gotta say.
It did.
But yeah, cool. Like that would be really cool. See, now I have to do it. Maybe I'll talk to Whoop and be like, look, sponsor a trip a year around the world. Let's get some really
All
cool
the
data.
data.
Yeah.
Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, the day to day.
Maybe do it.
So, yeah, a lot of traveling around. Obviously getting in activity through the walking, through yoga, doing different things. Sometimes I would film a vlog, but then I realized after doing this for a while, like a few days into a place, sometimes you're just like don't want to explore anymore because it's tiring.
Yeah.
And but then I found at times I was getting bored, which is so odd to get bored while you're having this great experience.
Yeah.
Because I had no job to keep me busy. Like my job was
You literally had nothing to do.
looking up things to do.
You had like no purpose.
I had no purpose
other than to just be.
Explore and be. Yeah, so it was kind of nice like being I have a very hard time personally doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm always like have to busy myself.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to kind of relax and like read.
I had this exact same problem in preparation for this trip right here because I knew I was going to be go for like 4 or 5 days. So I got an entire week's worth of work and deadlines done by Tuesday.
Oh.
And I was miserable the rest, like for the next like 2 days. It was like I was going stir crazy. I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I hate getting ahead now.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was like, yeah, at those times I was like, what do I do now? I'm like just sitting there. I'm like, because like you want to explore.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you have to, or I felt like I had to explore. I was like, if I'm here,
why
I
am
have
I
to.
here? Yeah.
But then other times I'm like, there's nothing else to see that's also like cheap because like we've done all the free things now.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to pay $20 everywhere to see a museum.
How did you gauge that? Like, how did you kind of justify what you did or what you didn't do based upon cost? I mean, at that point, it's like, I'm sure it had to come down to hey, each day we can only spend X amount of dollars because you got to make it last the whole rest of the year. How did you kind of gauge what you did based upon like cost and things like that?
So thankfully, so the places that I went to were all very like cheap.
Right,
like,
yeah.
budget-friendly
Like
countries.
the dollar went far.
Yeah. So nothing was ever like crazy expensive, but I'd aim for like either the free things or the cheaper things. If it did cost money and it just wasn't like intriguing enough to me, and then I wouldn't do it. It wasn't so much like, oh, I can't do that because of the cost. I'm like, is it even worth it in my mind to do it? And I had like a tracker to track all the finances throughout the year and seeing it every day. And so I would just look at the past days. I didn't actually set a budget per day.
Okay.
I would just look at the past days and say,
you look at what you had spent thus far.
Maybe we spent a little bit too much on food, so that I would just think to like actively like not spend that much in the next few weeks. But I never had like a target. That would have been good if I was like actually budgeting. But I would use it more as like a look, analyze, and react than proactively. Budget.
Were you making any money during this time? Do you have anything that was bringing in?
Maybe like $100 from like AdSense on Google, like $100 a month or something. But
could go far in some of those countries.
That's true.
Yeah,
$100. Yeah, because like considering a hostel bedroom is $3 a night in Vietnam. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember, like a bowl of pho is $1.
That's why I loved. We went to Colombia. The dollar. We're going twice again this year.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm going in April and then December.
That's one of my favorite countries.
I'm in love. I'm obsessed.
Why are you going? Can I come? Okay, I'm gonna ask a job for another 2 months.
It's funny, actually. It's funny you say that because I actually kind of interjected myself in one of the trips. So the main reason we're going in the end of the year is because two of our good friends are getting married, and he's Colombian.
I think you told me.
Yeah. So we're going. Okay. That's in December, and then they're going in April. They were telling us they're going again in April to like, check on the venue and just do wedding stuff. And I loved it so much. I was like, okay, cool. I'll meet you there. Kind of like jokes.
You need help with that, so I'll come.
And then I got us tickets, and then I booked us a hotel, and they're like, wait, you're actually coming? Like,
you went too far with the joke.
Our friends, we have like no boundaries with our friends, and they're like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. And so it was a surprise birthday trip too for May. And I was like, hey, surprise, we're going back to Cartagena.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. What I was going to say is like the dollar was like 3.5 times the value there. So we went to Bogota and then Cartagena for like a week. I took out about $400 outside of like the hotel because it was all like credit card and stuff. I took out $400, exchanged it for Colombian pesos, and that lasted 2 people an entire week, and we were balling. Like I had every coffee shop I got a coffee. I had ceviche with my ceviche. We had food and wine and like all these things, and like we enjoyed the vacation.
Yeah.
On $400 for 2 people for a week. It was amazing. And like definitely awesome. I could have brought it down to probably like 200 and been very, very reasonable and still had an amazing time.
Yeah.
But it's vacation. You want to kind of like splurge.
Yeah.
I wasn't budgeting for a year.
Yeah.
Like you, but
You're
so
there for 2 weeks.
we're going again in April. We're going Cartagena and then Medellin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Medellin is so fun.
And then back to Cartagena in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you should come down.
Yeah. I'll
Actually,
just go jokingly and buy my ticket.
When we very first met, we're at my buddy Pat's house back in Richmond, Virginia. And he's coming to Cartagena too in April.
Oh, what a fun little reunion.
Yeah. So he's coming down with us, and then we're going to Medellin together. Yeah.
Jealous.
So literally no boundaries. Just, if you want to come on down.
Just go.
No big deal.
I'm doing it. I'm a ticket right now.
Actually, I want to ask you a question about, speaking of like when we first met and stuff, like a past life, I'll say, well, I'm sure even now, fitness and being physically active is very, very important. What was it like kind of maybe letting go of that a little bit? Because you didn't have, hey, let me just go to the gym. Let me do my normal routine. Let me do my workout. For people like us where that's such an ingrained habit and you've been doing it for years, not doing it is like who am I?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. What was that like? Weird. How did you like stay active? How did you kind of maybe let go of that mindset a little bit?
Yeah. I guess in general in my life, fitness has, not even before the trip, has like taken not a backseat, but a much smaller role than what it used to when we first met.
Yeah.
So when we first met, it was like I was all in like the Instagram scene, like I'm not sure if I did YouTube yet at that time, but
I think you were getting into it, and
maybe like
you're doing like expos, like
expos, like Arnold
working
Expo,
the booths and
all that stuff. So I was like really much, like very much in it, like gym all the time, like lift all the weights, and but I think like through my recovery of like the whole eating disorder situations and kind of taking a step back and focusing on my mental health first.
Which a lot of that story, people can go back and check out the first episode. I'll link that down below. Check out that story.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was literally like number 6. Yeah.
So I kind of even then was like, or before my travel was like pulling back from fitness.
Yeah.
Obviously, still kept active. I love to like work out and everything, but it wasn't such a huge priority. So by the time we went on this trip, I was just doing, my morning exercises at the gym before, like 20 minutes on the treadmill, like some weight circuits, but nothing to the intensity of it was when we met. But then on the trip, obviously everything kind of went like, there is no more gym. There is nothing else. So like, how do you make up for that?
Was that even a part of the culture in some of the places you went? Was it like being that level of like physically fit? Was that like a thing all over the world?
There were some like outdoor gyms in Colombia, so those were cool to see. I didn't see a lot of joggers because it's like so hot. You would never. Oh
yeah, we were there in December, and it was like, it was so miserable, so hot. I can't imagine.
So there were some gyms, but maybe I just wasn't in the right space to see like all the people walking around, like pumping iron and whatnot. But
pumping coconuts, really.
Yeah, that's really. That's it. Like we're lifting like random poles that you find out in the beach. Is the exercise scene big out there? In Australia, it was, but that's like kind of similar. Where else? Thailand had a lot of, what is it? Muay Thai?
Yeah. In Muay Thai?
They had a lot of that. But I can't remember seeing like a huge fitness scene. There were like a few random gyms here and there, but nothing to the extent like we see here.
Well, okay, and so what were some of the places you went to? You were mentioning some other locations. Walk us through some of these destinations, these countries.
I can give them all in order.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go. Let's hear it.
If I can remember. Okay, Colombia. Number 1 favorite. Okay, Peru. Back to the States for a bit. Went to Burning Man in Nevada. And then went out to...
I love how you included the United States in your global travel.
Because it has to encompass everything. Because maybe you've got some international listeners.
True.
Them, the U.S.
Burning Man is definitely its own thing, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't gone yet.
It's a whole other world.
Yeah, I want to go.
Registration's coming up, I think. Or maybe in April. I'm not really sure.
I got to now, living in L.A., but...
Oh, yeah. Okay, where did I go after that? Venice for like a few days. Did a Croatia Balkans road trip. So Croatia, Montenegro, Kotor, Bosnia, back to Croatia, and then went to Belgium, and then went to Germany, and then the Netherlands, and then back to Germany, Prague, Czech Republic.
You Das Booted twice?
Yeah, I Das Booted twice. Oh yeah, we went to like Oktoberfest.
You were there for Oktoberfest?
Yeah, but I didn't love Oktoberfest.
Really?
The weekend before, we went to what's called Volksfest, which is in Stuttgart, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their own fall
Yeah.
festival, and it was so much better. Like less crowded, more locals. Like
I have a feeling that's very, very true. I've been to Germany a lot,
Yeah.
like for fun, but also I was stationed there. You know, I was
Mm.
overseas for a couple months in the Army, and it's always been right just before Oktoberfest. I want to go,
It's insane.
but like I have such an amazing time there, not in Oktoberfest, and then I see the photos and stuff of Oktoberfest. I'm like, holy hell! Like people wait hours and hours and hours just to get a beer
or
a
to the
boot.
bathroom.
Yeah,
And you end up
damn.
to go pee in a corner.
Jeez.
I didn't do that, but you know.
I would definitely do that.
Men, so easy for you.
So back to Germany, and then where?
So went to Germany and then Prague. Only for 3 days. It was all rainy the whole time, so it wasn't that great.
My top 3 places in the world. I love Prague.
Really, I got to
Yeah.
go back when it's
Love
nice. Hungary, where I got food poisoning. Do not go to a place called Deep Burger in Hungary, because it is awful. Well, also don't get a chicken burger, I guess, and it's undercooked and it's pink, but you eat it anyways because you think this is how they do it in Hungary, but really,
It's the Belgian
raw
dip.
chicken is not good anywhere.
Damn.
Where did we go after that? Turkey. Oh, Turkey.
Yeah.
Second
I want
favorite
to
country.
go. I want to go.
Cappadocia with the hot air balloons. Istanbul is just amazing. And then there's a whole like eastern side that we didn't even touch, but it was like there's just so much. And then the U.S. visa is like 3 months there. So just saying.
Amazing.
Turkey, that was by like Halloween time. And then I went to Vietnam early. The partner I was with went to Lebanon. My family met me in Vietnam.
Cool.
My
Awesome.
parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we did that. I got to see like my extended family down there. Did the whole length of Vietnam, and then went to Thailand, and I went to Malaysia, and then Bali because I literally went to Bali to be a mermaid.
What?
Have I not shown you the video?
No,
Okay.
what?
There's a video on my Instagram of me being a mermaid because it's been a life dream of mine to be a mermaid.
Yeah.
My favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I literally strapped on a tail and I
Yeah.
swam out in the ocean, and these
I was
snorkelers next to
I
us
was
were like,
stalking
"What
your
the
IG
hell?"
hard. I was like, when is she gonna pop up again? When is she gonna get internet? Like, I want to see where you're at. It was.
Oh yeah,
What a time to be
Like,
alive back
bringing
then.
up things. And then we went back to Vietnam to do the Ha Yang motorcycle loop.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. I don't know how to ride, so I was on the back of like a local.
Yeah.
That was riding through. But me and my narcoleptic self,
Oh my God.
I fell asleep twice on the back of that thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so I might not be here today if I didn't have a good grip, good yoga grip. After that, went to Singapore, and then Myanmar. Didn't leave that out. Myanmar or
Okay.
Burma, and then Singapore, and then back to Indonesia, and then Australia,
Wow.
then the Philippines, and South Korea. And I think that concludes it.
If my
I hope I didn't leave anything out.
video editing skills for anybody watching the video here are actually no, I'll probably have somebody do this. It would be so cool, like superimpose like the globe and your travels and all this stuff.
Be sweet. Bouncing around everywhere.
What stood out the most to you in terms of, like, we talked about a lot of places that you went were just very, very, beautiful, and things that you did were very cool. But what was maybe something like the culture, the people that were there? Was there ever a moment that just stood out to you of like, wow, like this is life outside of the United States? Like this is life. This is day-to-day living. This is the struggle. This is the beauty. What kind of like a culture or people maybe stood out to you the most?
Oh yeah, I guess the most like eye-opening for me was because it also like hit closer to me was in Vietnam.
Okay.
When I visited my extended family.
Yeah.
So they're about 3 hours south of Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City in the south, and they still live in the same place that my mom grew up.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
Same place, like same. I wouldn't call it a neighborhood, but like same area, like very close to the cemetery where my grandfather's now buried and like grandmother's buried. So it's like very, like that's where they grew up. And I was just thinking to myself, and the life that they live, like they grow rice, and my uncle like makes this very strong alcohol. It's like, I guess it's like rice wine.
Okay.
I think it's like sake in Japanese, but
Okay.
here I'm not sure what it's called in Vietnamese. I should know what it's called. Like he literally lit it on fire and it just very strong.
It's called gasoline. Yeah.
It's called straight up gasoline.
It's gasoline.
But just like seeing how they were living, just was eye opening to me because like if my parents never left Vietnam or never escaped Vietnam,
that would have been
then
you.
I could have been very much living there. But not to say like it's not like anyone's life is better or worse.
Right.
It's just a different lifestyle. Like
you caught a glimpse of what your life could have been.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. And like
a parallel universe, like a Black Mirror or something.
I know. I was like, that could be me. Like it's just very different. Like seeing them sleep on like the mattresses on the floor, and like we did showers with buckets and everything, and it's just a different living. And like again, they could be super happy doing what they do, like working out there and not having to do a 9-to-5 desk job. Like you're actually like working and playing and moving and being active every day, and just seeing a lot of how life could have been was like, wow, this is very intense. And like that same life you see in other countries, especially in like Asian countries. I saw a lot of that same thing in like Myanmar and the Philippines, like just people doing a lot of physical work everywhere, and still being very happy. Like that was just like, okay, so the way that we live here in like Western culture is not the best way. It's just like a different way.
Right. Yeah.
And just seeing
we're all just living around the world.
Everyone's just doing what they do to get by, to get through another day, make your money, and just go to bed with like, a content, like you're done with the day. It's like we all share the same aspect, and that is just how we do it.
That's such a good point.
In each place.
Such a good point. Yeah. We're all just out here trying to make it. We're all just trying to live our life, make a living, provide for our family. If you have a family, literally just every day wake up, not die.
Yeah, that's a goal. That's a good goal.
And then wake up and do it all over again, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever have was there like a eat, pray, love moment? Was there ever just like, I had the biggest epiphany realization of my life? Like I don't even know, any kind of like just big aha, like this is the meaning of life kind of thing?
Ooh, this is the meaning of life.
Like they make it on the movies to be, or
I know,
certain
right?
bloggers.
I did have like good lessons learned.
Like what?
But not like, kind of moments. I think
you weren't on top of a mountaintop, like just
no light was shining down and nothing like that. But what I learned. So I remember when I said earlier that my goal in the beginning of this was like, I'm gonna find a remote job and live somewhere and just like do that. I realized that's not for me. Okay. Like when I was traveling, after a while, after 12 and a half months of just moving and being away, like Christmas was spent FaceTiming my family and watching them all open their gifts while I was in a hotel room in Thailand in the middle of nowhere. Birthday was spent with the text message. Like Thanksgiving was spent. Like also, it was like, man, I miss my home.
Yeah, you were detached from from American culture. You were detached from holidays and normal things that had meaning.
Holidays, but it's just like the people that I wanted to be with weren't there.
Right, yeah. Okay.
So it's like, that's where home is, where the heart is. It's really true. And I realized like my ideal, I guess if I had went to a country for 3 months and got a job there, it would be different because I'd have like friends and everything. But
you were actually living instead of just passing
and
through
like just
all
like
these
jumping
places.
Around.
Yeah.
But I think like my ideal travel in the future is like you work in the U.S. for 6 or so months, you take a trip for 2 to 3 months, and then you come back. I can't leave for too long because I miss my home and my family, my base, and I can't be gone from my family for too long because I'm like, it's my family. Yeah. So that was one of the things I learned. I was like, you know what, this nomadic lifestyle that I thought I really wanted is not for me. The second thing I learned is that, well, I mean, this is just a given, but it just feels really good to make people happy.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
But and
like how so?
So I realized like people when you're traveling, the locals really appreciate it when you actually make an effort to learn about them or to
best travel tip.
Like
absolutely, because every country I've been to, absolutely, just make an effort
and like
don't be that American.
The language, don't like yell English to them like they should know what you're saying. Because surprisingly in Colombia, like a lot of people don't speak English. Yeah. And you're like when you go there, like why does no one speak English here? I'm like because it's not their language.
Exactly.
So like maybe learn a few things, like try and integrate into their culture. Don't like come over, bring in your Americanness, and be like. Everyone just answer to me, Don't
be that American.
Yeah.
For damn sure.
So just like making effort, making people happy and spreading cheer, I think I learned, I guess, that my strong suit is that. Because in the hostels and traveling and being with people, I just loved getting people together and just like talking with people.
I could see that, yeah.
And I was like, hey, let's be friends. So I made a lot of friends while traveling, and I realized like this is my strong suit, people. I do like people. But after a while, actually near the end, you're just like, okay, I'm too exhausted to
They're
talk
like,
anymore.
shit, people.
Like, where are you going? Where are you coming from? I'm like, I'm from DC. I've been gone for 6 months.
You should have just made a sign and pulled it out.
Left. Yeah, so after a while, it's tiring. But in general, so the next those two lessons were pretty much make an effort, and 3, make people smile every day. That's a good thing. What else did I learn? I learned other things, I swear. But now the coffee's like the coffee that I just chugged is
my cold brew kicked in.
My brain.
It's amazing. Did you kind of coming from a creative side, you were Instagram, YouTube, used to kind of like filming your life and stuff. Did any of that come up on this trip? Did you, like, outside of the blog and what you could post up here and there on Instagram, like we're talking about, did you document this in any kind of start to finish way, or just you were just fully experiencing it and just snapping a pic whenever you could?
Yeah, so snapping pics. I wrote blog post.
Okay.
Which I now realize, reading back, that I was way too detailed.
Oh, really?
Like,
how so?
I just wrote too much. Like, it was more like a diary for me.
Okay.
It was never meant to be like top 10 tips to know about this place. It was like, I think I was writing it so that I can remember it in my old age. Like,
cool.
Oh yes, I did this. This is very good. Like, even reading it now, I'm
Josie.
like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I had an accent in my old. I developed an accent when I turned 60. But it was that was nice so that I can remember things.
Yeah.
And then I did a few vlogs here and there, but other than that, like, I felt it was kind of tiresome to film out there when I was forcing it.
Yeah.
Like, forcing the experience. Yeah. Like you said, I was just kind of living. So
even here, like when you're filming if you're doing like a vlog, it's not really real living. Like you're doing it through literally a lens, and then it's time consuming.
Yeah. Like, I wish I had taken more, because like looking at the videos, obviously seeing pictures worth 1,000 words. Like, I can read my blogs, but seeing it, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's what the texture of the elephant looked like when I was playing with the elephant. I should have done more, but I'm happy I lived in the moment. But there are some regrets of not filming more. I do have a lot of like stories.
Oh, I bet.
By country on my Instagram, so I look at those and I'm like, oh, nice. Yeah. That was a good thing. But yeah, my creativity was kind of like, or my YouTube stuff was kind of.
Yeah, you're just living, experiencing it. Would you do it again, you think?
Like, the year of travel?
Yeah. Would you ever do it again? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, a whole year. Like I said, I could do like the 3 months.
Couple months on, couple months off, yeah.
I mean, I could do another year, sure. Like, I say that now, but I know by month 12 I'll be like, okay, it's time to go home again. But yeah, there's so much left to see.
Yeah.
It was just like a toe in.
Yeah.
Because we spent like a month in Colombia, a month in Peru, but some places were only a few days. Like in Europe, because Europe was never planned to happen.
Oh, okay.
Because Europe is more expensive.
Yeah.
But just ended up because I had met a lot of people on the Salcantay Machu Picchu trek in Peru and in Burning Man, and they said, hey, come over, you got a free place to stay, and that's why we made that hop to Europe.
Oh, cool.
Like throughout, we stayed with a lot of people. But those are like we were in Budapest for maybe 5 days, Prague for 3 days. So.
That's a pro tip. Meet friends along the way who have places all over the world and stay with them. Yeah,
it's great.
That'd be a great way to go.
It's very fun to do that too, because you see the world through a local, not as a tourist. Oh yeah, so like another thing, this is random now, saying it like that, there's so many different ways to stay in places, obviously like hostels, Airbnbs, whatever, but Couchsurfing is a free thing you can do, and it's with locals.
You told me about this. Yeah, it's it's like
you just like
Airbnb but for couches.
Sleep on someone's couch, and it's free. Like it's like a community on an app that like they offer their house to you because they want to. Like I can also do it in DC here. Like anybody can offer their house for people, and then they'll show you around, and you'll be friends. Like it doesn't cost anything. You should probably buy them like a dinner. Or something back. But yeah, there's lots of different resources out there in general. If anyone's trying to plan a trip like this, for free things. Like you don't have to spend too much money while you're traveling. Because obviously budget travel, we learned a lot of that. So there's like free couch surfing. There's also opportunities to volunteer in exchange for food and stay. Yeah. So I did that in Malaysia. So I didn't have to pay for like 2 weeks in Malaysia. and they would give us food and stuff as long as we did all of the things that we were volunteering with. So there's so many opportunities to do things at a much better price, or for free.
Yeah.
If you're worried about having the money to do this, because you don't have to have a lot of money to travel.
Yeah.
Honestly, like this, if you have a long period of time, you can pick up a job, you can again volunteer, you can do anything, and all you need is the money to go there and come back.
Yeah.
And sometimes food.
Yeah,
if
eating's good
not,
too.
If it's not included. And
wow, that's amazing. Yeah, the travel bug is real. I really want to do this. We're so when May graduates in August, it's perfect timing to kind of be a little selfish with us right now. Like I said, before we get into the whole adulting and family and stuff. So when our lease is up and she's done with school, we're doing Spain, Morocco, and Egypt.
This is already decided?
Yeah. And then we're coming back for maybe like a week, and then we leave again for Colombia for the wedding.
Oh,
we come back for maybe another week, and then we convinced our family. Funny, last year we were looking at flights. A couple months ago, we were looking at flights for home for Christmas, and just for like shits and giggles, I was like, hey, let me just like look up Paris. It was $200 cheaper per ticket to go from LA to Paris than it was from LA to DC.
What?
And I was like, what if we do Christmas in Paris? And it was like last minute. I couldn't convince my family. I couldn't pull that on them. But we did convince them this year at Christmas. We're like, hey guys, look, we're all adults now. What if we just did like an experience, a trip every year for Christmas? And we sold them on it. So we're doing, Christmas abroad starting this year, and every year we're just going to like vote on, pick a location around the world.
I love that. I'm going to do that with my family.
Yeah. The best gift is like one that you haven't experienced together with your family and just go somewhere else.
No, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. But good point with the flight thing, how you just said like it was cheaper to go there versus DC. That's how a lot of our travel was planned. We would not know where we wanted to go next, but just in Google Flights, just put in where you're leaving from.
Yeah, wow, that's so good.
And leave it open destination and just look at the whole map. And Google Maps is very like intuitive. It shows you like the whole map with the prices. Like, hey, that's the cheapest one, so we're just gonna fly there.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of our traveling.
That's amazing.
Logistics for planning was quite fun.
Do you feel like now that you've been back to normal life, your normal American life, for like what, 6 months or so, 8 months,
since June.
Almost now, yeah. Do you feel like you are a different person now, coming back to your normal daily routine of living, working, being Josie here in the States versus who you were before you left on the trip?
Yes.
You are the same.
No, I'm different.
Oh.
I'm different. Sorry.
Oh,
I've learned a lot.
I couldn't remember my own question. Yeah. Duh.
No, I'm definitely a different person.
How so would you say?
I think here's another life lesson that I learned while traveling. Like, not to take yourself too seriously or to be too involved in yourself, because, again, I think our culture here is very much not selfish, but like very in tune with your image and how you're portrayed on like social media or how you're portrayed in life, like what your friends think of you, what everyone thinks of you.
Status.
Yeah. But when you're out there, it's like no one cares what I do, who I am. No one cares like what other people think of them too. I'm not sure if it's just different culture, but people just didn't seem like you see all shapes and sizes and backgrounds and like different levels of money and class out there. And like here, I feel like I always see the same kind of person on Instagram. Like you're floating through, and like obviously that's why you judge yourself and you judge others, and like they don't fall into the mold. But out there, I just saw more like diversity, I guess, in people. And so I was like, why am I so like nitpicky on myself when no one else in the world is like this way?
Literally, no one cares.
Like no one cares. No one cares. And I noticed that too, like here, like after I put Instagram down, I looked out in the real world. I was like, wait, not everyone's like 5% body fat walking around doing bikini shows and weightlifting things. And
Americans, we're the only ones that are that sadistic.
Like, so just like coming back with that mindset, I was like, I think I've learned to be a little more forgiving of myself in life and less.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Very, very odd. I didn't think that I would like take that away from traveling, but just being more relaxed and open. I think I'm not the best at it still, like not doing anything. Like I know I have to constantly be busy, or I liked being busy before, but I know now like I need to have my chill days. So I'm trying to be more chill.
Cool.
Like on the weekends, just not have to do anything. So I'm coming back with a fresh perspective on I don't have to be busy all the time, and it's okay. So one, I'm less harsh on myself. Two, I'm more free with my time, or at least making an effort to be more free with my time.
Okay. Okay.
Three, again, just knowing how the rest of the world lives or can live. I think that's given me a new perspective just on life in general, being more appreciative of things and of family.
Sure.
Because especially in the Asian cultures, you see a lot of strong family bonds. So I'm trying to bring that back to my family and being more present. And I think I'm making it a stronger effort to also have strong friendships.
Yeah.
Like stronger friendships here, because while I was gone, I guess not having those connections made me realize, it's really important to have a solid group of people around you, or else you'll feel very lonely. Like, it's good to be on your own and like to be okay with your own self, but you need a solid group of people to just enhance your life. Good discussions, like stimulate your brain, and have that love and that love languages feeling, not just like with a partner, but like with friends. So I'm making sure, like, okay, I'm coming back here and I want to make a solid group of friends because I want to grow old with them, and I want to have people I can rely on and they
True
can rely
fellowship.
on me. Yeah. So I'm making it more effort to like connect with people that
That's
are
amazing.
enhancing my life.
Yeah.
Because when I was gone, I didn't really do that much. So
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like making up for it now.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I think those are the ones.
I can only imagine an experience like that. You're probably still going through what exactly happened to me and for me. And I'm sure as you go through life now, from the year being gone and like the next year being back, I'm sure you're going to have so many transitions and things come to light, or you're going to remember, oh, this is what it was like over there. I'm remembering how I reacted to this, and it's really not that serious, or maybe it is too serious, or
you
just
get
what a transformation.
very good at the reaction, like you said.
Yeah.
Because so many things change. Again, so many things not go wrong, but go not according to plan.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling with that now, like, go on a trip, because
Talk about
you will be
surrendering.
like,
Yeah.
that's like jumping right into it, and you get like, you learn how you are as a person. Like, you learn how you react. You learn what pushes you over the edge and what you can handle. So you learn your strengths and your weaknesses, and then you react and learn and build from that. And then you get better at how you react, or you get smarter at how you react and in what ways you react. So yeah, I definitely did not point that one out, but that's a good
amazing.
thing. Like how you can either get mad at something and stay mad, or you can be like, you know what? No, be angry for a little bit and then learn from it and then move on. Because man, that's going to be a lot of traveling. But
So
if you can
cool.
handle it, then you're fine.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna put like our original interview down in the show notes so people can check it out. Totally different episode, totally different
So
story.
different.
Would love to share this travel blog and information for like details and more expansion. Thank you so much for taking time again to come on here and share this story. And last time I was an idiot and lost the SD card, and it was a hot mess. But this was still just as amazing. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I love talking about it because I forget. Like, my mind just.
Yeah.
But talking about it, it's like, because now I have the travel bug, and so I'll see you in Colombia.
Absolutely. Come on down. Literally, everyone's going. Our friend's wedding is just like turning into a free-for-all.
Oh my gosh. So you see that girl hiding in the back? Yeah, she's fine. She's with us. I'll do it.
So
is fun.
Since like our very first episode, I didn't have this, I think, then. I just ask everybody one final question. And,
snap.
How would you say that traveling the world, how would you say getting out of your comfort zone on a daily basis for a year, how does this help you live a life ever forward? I mean, you know me and kind of like the backstory and all that, and that meaning, how would you kind of apply it through the lens of what you experience, and how do you live a life ever forward now?
That's such a good question. How do I live a life more ever forward after this year of travel? I guess I think just knowing how lucky I am to be in this life and to have been born in America, thanks to my parents coming over, and like just seeing again how the whole world lives differently. I shouldn't ever take life for granted, and I need to always like live intentionally every day, ever forward, moving on in the future, like just doing the things that I enjoy doing more, not doing things to please others, like make this life more intentional for me to actually like have my purpose, make an impact, just live more intentionally, which is so generic and broad, but just seeing what everyone else does in the world and how everyone has like a dream and a goal. A lot of people just waste it and just like sit on their couch at home and not do anything and doing it. But like I wanted to go somewhere and I did it, and I went on this giant trip and I didn't know what was out there and I did that. And now like you can do that in anything you do in life. So if you have a goal or a dream or a wish, like live every day intentionally to reach it, and with the purpose of enhancing your life, enhance other people's lives, make people smile and happy. I think that's just the goal in life. Do what you like to do, but also make other people smile.
Pour into others. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I love it.
Ever forward.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, I want to do this so bad.
Dude, you're already going to like 7 countries in the next year.
This year, 2020 is wild. A lot of things for like weddings and work and fun and all this stuff. Every month this year, I'm in a different city, state, or continent.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's the year
You're
year
the next
of us.
world traveler. Yeah.
Because next year,
2020.
who knows? I don't know. I mean, tomorrow's never a given. Next year's never a given.
True.
Best laid plans, right? But absolutely, figure out what you want. And she's such a great example of doing something like this is so possible.
So possible.
So figure out what you want and then just go after it and do it. Literally, the only reason why it's not happening is because you're not making it happen.
Exactly. It's like when my friends would say, "Oh, you're so lucky you're doing this. It's like amazing. You're so brave and lucky." I'm like, it's not luck. You're literally doing it yourself. Like luck.
I just decided and then I planned. Yeah.
You make your own luck by doing the thing. Yeah. So just do it, as Shia LaBeouf says. You know.
I love it. Well, thank you, Josie. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah.